Tough problem. There's a bunch of moving parts here in this problem, so pause the video if you need to. Watch things over again if you need to. Alright, let's get to it. So, in the quadratic equation above, b is a non-zero constant. The graph of the equation in the xy plane is a parabola with vertex a comma c, which the following is equal to c. A couple of things to keep in mind. See that particular equation right there? That x plus 5 and that x minus 3 tells me what the zeros are. So if I set x plus 5 equal to 0, and if I set x minus 3 equal to 0, it tells me that x equals negative 5 and tells me that x equals 3. So what these two things tell me is that this parabola passes through 2 points right there. One is negative 5 and the other one's going to be 3. That's what this is. That's what finding zeros is. It tells me where the parabola crosses the x-axis. See how it's saying the b is a non-zero constant? That's just there to confuse you a little more. That doesn't affect anything. This b could be 2, 3, 4. It's not going to affect any outcome over here because my zeros will still be, I'm going to set this equal to 0 and set this equal to 0. Okay, so the first step here is to figure out what the zeros of the parabola are, and that's what we've just done, negative 5 comma 3. Now the other thing this problem tells me is that a comma c is the vertex. So that means that particular point right there is a comma c. So this is my x and that's my y. So if this is a point on the parabola, that means that it's a point on this particular graph. So I can replace the x and the y with the a and the c. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Instead of the y, I'll replace that with the c. Leave the b the way it is. The x I'll replace with the a plus 5 times a minus 3. And the reason I did this is because the question is saying which of the following is equal to c. So c, this is what c is going to equal. And now if I look at the answer choices, see how all the answer choices have a b in it? So really now my goal is to try to figure out a number for this part, which is what I'm going to try to get to. This parabola, one rule to keep in mind about parabolas is that if I cut it in half, cut it in half to the vertex, it's a mirror image. So that means the distance from here to here and the distance from here to here must be equal. So if this is 3 and this is negative 5, and keep in mind obviously there's a 0 in the middle, the total distance from this point to this point is 8, because from here to here is 3, from here to here is 5, so total distance of 8. And halfway point must be 4, so this must mean the distance from here to here must be 4, and the distance from here to here must be 4. So that tells me that this point must be negative 1, because negative 1 to negative 5 is a distance of 4, and from 3 to negative 1 is also a distance of 4. So now I know that the x value right there, which is really my a right there, is negative 1. I don't know what the y value is, but that's okay for now. What I've just figured out is my x value, that vertex, is negative 1. So it's negative 1 comma c. So see what I just did? I just figured out the value of a. The value of a must be negative 1 there. So I have c equals b times negative 1 plus 5 times negative 1 minus 3. And then that will be negative 1 plus 5 will be 4. Negative 1 minus 3 will be negative 4, and all of that equals c. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16, so c will equal negative 16b for my final answer. So if I know the zeros of a parabola, I can figure out the x value easily with that vertex. And then what I did was I took that x value, plugged it in there, and then that told me what the y value is, and the y value is really the c value because the question's asking me what the value of c is. C equals negative 16b.